Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Pagani design PD1719. It's a brand new, kind of higher end Pagani design watch, so I'm really excited to show it off to you guys. This watch was sent to me for free by the Pagani Design AliExpress official store on AliExpress. I don't have to send it back, but you know the deal by now. That's not going to sway my review one way or the other. The retail price for this watch is $149 US, but it will be available during this upcoming sale or this current sale for $110 with all the coupons. This store also has US warehouses, so with pretty limited stock. So if you are in the US, you can reap the benefits of local shipping, so that'll be nice. The watch comes in 3 different colorways. You have this coral blue here. They also have a dark blue, and they also offer it in orange. This watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a sapphire crystal, screw-down crown, screw-down case back, 300 meters of claimed water resistance. Comes on a pretty nice stainless steel bracelet and clasp, and it is powered by the No Date NH38 movement. So I've been wearing this watch for a couple days straight now, and I feel like I've got a pretty good grasp on it. So I say let's get right into the review. Before we do, on wrist today is the Cadison Vintage Dive Watch. No review on this one yet, but it is coming to the channel. Feeling a little bit underwhelmed by this one, but yeah, I haven't really had much time to play with this one yet, so yeah, keep an eye out for the review on that one. Yeah, let's get to the dimensions. So I'm getting about 42.8 on the diameter, 13.9 millimeters thick, at a 20 millimeter lug width. Bracelet tapers down to about 18 at the clasp. The lug tip to lug tip is a very compact 45.4, and I'm going to say the bracelet to bracelet, since it's not really an end length there, is 52.1, and we will talk about that when we get to the bracelet section. So the short lug tip to lug tip really helps. You know, almost 14 millimeters thick sounds like a lot, but that does include this nice domed crystal here. I feel like it wears pretty thin. It's got a really thin mid case here. You can see the sides are nicely sloped here. It curves nicely. It hugs nicely. The case back doesn't protrude too much from this surface here because it kind of gets scooped out on the bottom side. So yeah, I think overall it's a pretty nice case, and I like the way that it wears. So I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist. Here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and as you can see, I mean, it wears great. You know, short lug to lug really helps. This case curve really nicely hugs the wrist, as you can see there. Very happy with it. Lots of light play off that beads of rice bracelet. Yeah, I mean, this thing looks good, wears comfortable, really similar to that Tactical Frog. Pretty happy with it. I love the crystal on this thing. Really nice crystal. Yeah, very happy with it. Lots of light play off that bezel as well. So yeah, looks pretty good. What do you guys think? And here we are in some direct sunlight, and you can see still really nice finishing on this thing. Pretty happy with that. Lots of play with the polished and the brushed, and plenty of air coating. So I mean, this thing is very legible. Really like the dial color on this thing too. As you can see there, it's kind of a matte. We'll talk about the dial in just a little bit, but yeah, really nicely done. Very happy with the legibility on this thing. I'm gonna go throw it on some straps though. We are on a Vario vintage strap. Absolutely love this strap. Love the strap on this watch for some reason. I don't know why, but I just like it. But yeah, it does fit really good. Very comfortable. I think that looks pretty good. I was kind of surprised that the blue and the brown go so well together. What do you guys think? I got some other ones though. So let's get to it. This is the vintage leather strap listed down below. Very happy with the way this one looks too. The gray with the blue, I think, is always a winning combo. Very happy with that. It looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Yeah, I do like it. We are on a brown khaki strap. I think this one looks pretty good. I like the canvas. I like the texture. Looks all right. Not my favorite, but I think it looks pretty good. This is lifted off of an old Merkur or FOD watch, so I don't think you can buy this one, but that's how it looks. And here we are on a Melanese mesh, and I think it looks all right. Still not a fan of these things, but I know some of you are, so I figured I'd throw it on there anyway and let you see what it looks like. What do you guys think? Yeah, it looks all right. Say hi to the resident ducks. And here we are on a Riche rubber strap. This strap I think is awesome. Very comfortable strap. And I think it looks really good on this. Obviously, the black strap with the black indices and black hands, I think it looks really good. What do you guys think? Yeah, I do really like that. Here we are on a gray Perlon strap. These Perlons are linked down below. Very happy with them. Nice and summery strap. Very lightweight, comfortable, and I think they look pretty good. Even one layer underneath the watch there still sits really good. Hugs the wrist nicely. Very happy with this thing. I think the gray and the blue, I think that always looks good. What do you guys think? Got one last strap to throw it on. And lastly, here we are on a gray rib NATO strap from Cheapest NATO Straps. 2 layers underneath the watch there, still sitting pretty, looking really good. Very happy with this combo as well. Yeah, what do you guys think? I say we go back inside and let's get back to this review. Alright, so let's talk about the case finishing. So case finishing on this is done really nicely. I think I like this a little bit better than the Tactical Frog. You have a circular brushing on the top of the case here. Really nicely done, I think. Polishing on the sides, as you can see there. Signed crown at the 3 o'clock position. Pretty nicely done. I think the polishing is done really good. Really nice sharp transitions from the brush to the polish, as you can see there. Yeah, this case is done really nice. I'll give you a nice side profile of it here. I think it looks really good. Very happy with that. The case back on this thing is really, really cool. It's got a nice turtle engraved with some seaweed and some bubbles, and I just think it looks really cool. It's got the typical kind of spec sheet around the outside with a model number. I think it looks really good. You can see the bottom of the case is fully polished there, and this is kind of where they're cutting corners, as they should. I mean, nobody really looks at the bottom of the case too much, but you can see the polishing right up here on this lug is what I'm looking at. And it doesn't look too great right there. So, but again, it's the bottom of the case, not a big deal. All these edges here, they're a little bit sharp. They do leave some marks on the skin, I guess, but I tend to wear my dive watches like this a little tight. So yeah, I don't think it'll be an issue for everyone. But yeah, I do think it's perfectly acceptable. It's not anything overly sharp, anything sharper than I've experienced in the past. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So let's talk about the bezel. So the bezel on this, it is a 120 click unidirectional bezel. I'll let you listen to it here. So it's a really kind of noisy, snappy sound. The resistance could be a little bit better. It's pretty easy to turn. I've knocked it a couple times. And then we get to this point here, and you can see there's a little bit of back play on it. There's a little bit of wobble in the bezel. Not too happy with that. This bezel does line up nicely, but yeah, it's kind of an odd bezel in the fact that there's a little bit of rock to it, a little bit of lateral play as well. When I really try and move it, you can move that bezel up and down, pressing on it. There's not really any. There's a little bit of just ever so slight. I can't even really. I can feel it, but I can't really show it. But yeah, I think the bezel on this, it's okay. It's not my favorite, obviously. I do think the Tactical Frog bezel is a little bit better than this one. As for the markings on the bezel, in blue you have the compression or decompression bezel. I still don't know the use for those things. I'm guessing it's for skin diving and stuff, but I don't do that, so I don't really care. The inner bezel here, black markings, that's your typical dive time bezel. I think that's done pretty good. I've got no big issues with it, except that 35 kind of runs into the markers there. That's pretty much the only issue I see on the bezel. Other than that, though, I think it's pretty good. The finishing on it is done really nicely, actually. Very happy with how it's finished. Flipping it onto the sides here, you can see the grip on it. It's kind of like it's not the typical bezel, like the sawtooth bezel that you see on this style of watch. This is just kind of your normal coin edge bezel. I think it looks pretty good. That bottom edge of it here, it is fully like bead blasted. I think it looks pretty cool. I was a little worried about it, but in the end, I actually do like it. I think it looks pretty good, and I think it fits the style of this watch, and I think it's plenty grippy, especially with the resistance that they're using. So yeah, I've got no problems with it. Now let's talk about the crystal on this thing. So the crystal, I'll test it for sapphire real quick. It is positive for sapphire, and it is a really nice crystal. Very, very happy with this crystal. As you can see here, no distortion at the steep angles there. Got really nice I mean, it's raised up above this bezel. I think it really gives a cool vintage look to it. Very happy with it. It does have anti-reflective coating, and I believe it's clear anti-reflective coating. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe it is a little bit blue, but yeah, on this model, I can't really see the blue, so I can't really say one way or another. But yeah, the AR coating, really nice on this. Very happy with the crystal. Yeah, this is one of my favorite crystals on a Pagani design. Very happy with it. I do really like it. All right, so let's talk about the dial on this thing. So the dial, really nicely done. Yeah, I was pretty happy with it. I was a little worried when I first saw some of the early images, like these indices were out of alignment, but once I got it here, everything is just spot on. Really nicely done. You've got that applied Pagani shield at the 12 o'clock position. Just the shield only. I like it. I know some don't like it, but I like it. This is kind of like a gunmetal grayish polished color, so I think it looks pretty good. It definitely contrasts nicely with the dial there. You have your automatic diver's 300 meter down here at the 6 o'clock position. Again, the printing on this, very nicely done. You do also have Japan movement down there at the straddling the 6 o'clock indice. Very nice. The minute track printed nicely as well. I see no smudging or anything on this. Kind of have like crosshairs on the dial there, which give it a really nice balance, I think. No date, which I'm loving. You've got the applied indices, got big fat markers at 12, 3, 6, and 9, and little tiny ones at the other hour markers. Everything is aligned really nicely. Very happy with it. All those are filled with Lume. You can see the handset they used on this. They went with a non-traditional style handset on this, and I'm kind of mixed on it. I actually don't mind the handset at all. I think it's perfectly sized. I think it's nice and bold. I like the black paint that they're using. Really nice contrast there. You got that seconds hand with the Lume on it. I'm a big fan of that. The tips of these hands here look like little bombs to me. Almost like kind of like lawn darts, if you guys know what those are. Pretty happy with it. I do wish they would just use a little bit more of a traditional handset, you know, that bomb thing that I mentioned there. Yeah, I know some people don't like that at all, and that's going to put them off from this watch, and that's kind of a shame because, I mean, the dial on this thing is excellent. Let's talk about the Lume though. So I'm going to pop up a Lume shot. Here you can see it against 3 other watches in my collection, kind of all in that same $100 to $150 price range. Dive style watches, and you can see the Pagani just doesn't hold on. It has an initial burst that's fairly good, but it does fade quicker than the other ones, and it's just not as good. And on a watch like this, it's a little disappointing, especially if you're going to pay $150 full price for this thing. You're going to want some good Lume on that. You know, Addy's Dive and Steel Dive, they do offer nice C3 Lume, and this isn't it. They also offer BGW9 Lume on stuff in this price range, so a little disappointed with the Lume on this thing. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not where it needs to be, in my opinion. All right, so let's talk about the movement in this thing. So the movement is operated by the screw down 3 o'clock crown. The screw in, screw out action is pretty nice. It's not as smooth as I've seen from Pagani design, but it's definitely nothing. It's not gritty or anything like that. Pretty happy with it overall. The grip on the crown, it's fine. It's perfect. I've got no issues with that. The first position here, hand winds the movement, and the second position, hacks the movement. So this is, again, a no date NH38 movement. Very happy with that. You just have one position on it, and this is where you set the time. Yeah, good feedback. It's basically the NH35 just without the date. So you got 21,600 beats per hour, 40-ish hours power reserve. It hacks, hand winds. It does everything you need it to do. It's reliable. It's affordable. Plenty of mod parts if you're into that too. So I've got no problems with that. This one has been running pretty good. So I'm going to pop up my time grapher over here. You can see how it's been running. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one overall. And I like the fact that Pagani is kind of stepping into this new price category and putting in a proper no-date movement. All right, so let's talk about the bracelet on this thing. And this is, again, where they're kind of stepping up. So you have a bracelet tapers from 20 millimeters down to 18 millimeters at the clasp. It is a full solid stainless steel bracelet. Solid links. All of these links here are individual little pieces, as you can see right there. So that's nice to see. That's a lot better than the tactical frog, and it does make for a more comfortable bracelet, in my opinion. You have solid end links, as you can see right there. and they are female pivot. My problem with these is that they only pivot to about right there. I'm not really sure why they did that, but yeah, they only pivot to about right there. So that's where you get that, I forget what it was, 52 millimeter bracelet to bracelet. So yeah, it's a little interesting. On my wrist, it doesn't make much of a difference at all. And I think on most people's wrist, it's not going to. But yeah, I just thought I would mention that. But I think the finishing on the bracelet is done really nice. There you can see the polishing on the beads of rice done really nicely. I'm actually quite impressed with this. Yeah, they put a pretty nice bracelet on it. The finishing on it is really nice. I mean, I'm impressed. I'm pretty impressed. You got the vertical brushing on the top of the bracelet, polished on the sides here. You've got push pins for adjusting, which I'm perfectly happy with. Got no problems with that. Plenty of adjustment links here. I had to remove 3 links for my 7.5 inch wrist. You've got 2 micro adjust holes on this clasp here. This is kind of the new normal for Pagani on non-standard bracelets. You have this kind of pressed outer shell with the Pagani shield. It operates perfectly functional. I mean, I've got no issues with this thing. Fully milled inner. It's nice and tight tolerances here. I've never had a problem with these clasps. They're nice and low profile as well. Very comfortable. I've got no problems with them. Yeah, brushed on the top, polished on the sides, 3 micro adjusts, no quick extension or anything like that, but you're going to be able to get a good fit on this bracelet. And overall, I've been pretty happy with this bracelet. Yeah, it's actually a highlight of this piece in my opinion. I think the end link fitment, nice and solid, nice and tight up against the case too, and it looks great. So there you go, guys. That is the Pagani Design PD1719, the new kind of higher end. You're getting a really nice crystal. You're getting a NH38 no date movement, and you're getting a really nice bracelet on these things. And I think the finishing is one of their nicer pieces. It's nothing fancy or special or anything, but it's done really nicely. I see no real flaws with it. I think the biggest issue with this thing is the lume and the bezel's got a little bit of play in it. Other than that, though, I'm really happy with this watch. I think the color is awesome. I think the bracelet is awesome. I think the whole look is really nice. So if you are interested in purchasing this, I'm going to be leaving a link down below. Now is a good time to buy it. 110 bucks for this thing. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. If you're going between this and the Tactical Frog, I would probably go with this one. Yeah, I think at the 150 range, you're going to have to consider a few things. But yeah, I do really like this watch, and I've been pretty happy with it. So head to the link down below. That is an affiliate link. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys using my affiliate links. And it not only does it bring some commission to the channel, it also lets the sellers know that, I sent you here. And they're going to keep on sending watches like this, so I can get them in front of the camera for you guys so you can make a better decision. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this one. Do you like it? You don't like it? Would you go with the Tactical Frog? Maybe the C-Stern, pay a little extra for the C-Stern? Yeah, let me know. I think that's about it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.